Hey, how you doing? Coach Brandon here, and today we'll go ahead and go over a few of the videos that you sent me. To start things off, things are looking quite a bit better, but we still need a little bit of improvement in your hinging mechanics because we still have a decent amount of extension, and there's just one tiny piece. Excuse me. There's one tiny piece that we are missing in the hinging portion of the squat. And the biggest thing that's causing it, I believe, is actually the chest breathing that you have. Now, we have to keep in mind that the second we breathe through our chest, we passively lengthen our abdominals, it decreases our ability to breathe and brace properly, and it puts us in a higher likelihood, almost impossible position not to be into a lumbar extension. Now, you're doing a really good job at pushing your hips back, but by the time that you actually push your hips back, you're already in a slightly extended position because of your chest breathing. And on top of that, we're forgetting just the upper body hinging portion. So what I mean by that, I'll actually show you the video real quick to demonstrate this point. Looking at this guy here. So right there is really what I'm talking about. The second we bring your chest up like that, your lumbar portion of your spine is already a little bit extended. So once it's already a little bit extended and you try to push your hips back, they just go further into extension. All right, so look at this one more time for me. This chest movement right here. That's what caused it, 100%. So it seems like you're breathing through your belly at first, but then the very last part of your breath, we're bringing our chest up a ton. One more time. Belly breath, and then chest, right there. And that's really what we have to eliminate because that's causing the extension. Now, the second thing I want to demonstrate, because again, the second we go from here to here, I'm extension right now. I'm an extension, and then the second I try to push my hips back and actually squat down, it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. And trying to actually squat down from here, from an extended position, even if it's slight, it's just going to continue to get worse. But on top of that, it's impossible for us to have the correct mechanics. Now, to take a step further, you have to understand that when we hinge, our upper body has to follow our lower body. So if I actually go to hinge, but I just hinge like this, nothing really happens. I'm just going further into extension. My upper body has to follow. So keep in mind, when we push our hips back, you're doing a pretty good job of that, but our upper body isn't following. It's just looking like this. Hips are going back, but it's just arching our lumbar portion of our spine, going to extension, and we're not really accomplishing proper hinging mechanics. We have to have the upper body follow, and we need to go from this to this. This is the straight line, the neutral spine, the perfect hinge that we're looking for. Your upper body has to bend as your hips go back. If they aren't synchronized, then we're never going to have a neutral spine position and never going to have complete proficiency of this movement. So keep in mind, we just really have to focus on having our upper body follow. The second it doesn't, we go further extension, and we're kind of initiating that by taking that big chest breath. Right there, you saw it. Right there, it goes into extension. I'm extended right now. The second I bring my chest up like that, I'm already extended. So if I take a big chest breath, then try to push my hips back further, then I'm just going further and further into extension, and initiating the squat like that's never going to be a good thing. So that's the first thing. We can't initiate with the chest movement. And then the second is going to be really focusing on, instead of going here, having your body hinge as a complete unit, with your upper body actually folding over, synchronized with your lower body going back. This is going to be vitally important. Once we master this, is the best way to optimize our squat right now. The second we master this, good things are going to happen. Squat's going to get a lot stronger, and with it, deadlift and bench. Now, if we look at other videos, you're just going to see a very similar pattern going. Again, so it's right there. That's really what we're trying to avoid, is the chest coming up right here. That's what caused it. And I'm not even sure if it's a part of your breath necessarily. You're starting it with a nice diaphragmatic breath, and then right before we actually set in the hole, we're bringing it up. And there's no benefit from doing that. So what we have to do is we have to press our collarbones into the bar. We have to stay perfectly neutral and keep in mind that as we brace, nothing should move up here. It should be diaphragmatic breath, brace, nothing moves up here, properly hinge, and then ascend in the hole. Once we master this, like I said, really good things are going to happen. So this is just something that I really want us to focus on. I don't even want to touch it into deadlifting or benching quite yet. I just want to put all of our focus into this. But when it comes to the bench press, I already looked at all your videos. When it comes to bench press, the one big thing I want to kind of improve on is just patterning. Now, we have to understand that the second we have to create a bit of an arch in our bench press. I'll actually show you your video here in a second, but we have to create a bit of an arch for a few different reasons, but it's actually going to put us in a far better, more advantageous position to bench heavier loads. Plus, it puts less stress on the shoulder. So being in an arch position, setting up a bit of an arch is actually a really good thing for both mechanics and strength and weight on the bar and whatnot. So don't be afraid to get into a little bit of arch position. And I really want you to focus on having your feet do something for you. Believe it or not, lower body position is actually incredibly important with the bench press. So I want you to bring your feet as far under you as possible while still maintaining the ability to keep them flat to the floor. So heels should never come up. A lot of individuals sacrifice their heel contact with the ground to get their feet even further under us, but we don't want to do that for a few different reasons. But more than anything, I just really want to hammer down that point is that I want to get set up our position a little bit better with the bench press. And then when it comes to the pattern, I want us to focus on bringing your touching point a little further down. Right now, your bench press is pretty much straight up and down. It's down like so and up. Elbows are straight flared out. What I want to do is demonstrate a better bench press where we actually have a little more backwards motion as we press up. So first off, let's go ahead and bring our touching point. Right now it's about here to more sternum level. You want to go ahead and touch around here. So what that's going to look like is we have to have a little bit more elbow bend or elbow tuck as we ascend to the hole, this nice 45-degree angle with our elbows. Touch right in that point, and then as we press, the first 2/3 is going to be pretty much straight up. Then the last 1/3 we're pressing towards the spotter's face if there was one. Now this is going to have a far greater power output. It's going to use better musculature. This is going to be a safer version of a bench press, so on and so forth. You'll never see any elite level bench pressers go straight down and straight up. So what I want you to do is focus on positional first. Let's get a little better arch. Let's get our feet further under us so they do something for us in terms of stability. And lastly, I want you to focus on having a nice slow elbows tucked at about a 45-degree angle, eccentric. We're going to touch right around our sternum on the bottom. Notice where my elbows are. We don't want to flare them out. We want to have about 45-degree tuck. And then as we press, we're going to press up, 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 and then back at the end towards the spotter's face if there was one. So this is going to be some easy fixes. More than anything, like I said, I want to put all of our focus into squat, but I do want to start to work towards the more effective bench pressing position and pattern as well. But again, your squat's already getting a lot better. We're already making strides in the right direction. I just want to continue to improve it because, like I said, the second we eliminate the lumbar extension that's taking place right now, great things are going to happen for your squat. It's going to carry over to your deadlift and bench as well. So really excited for the prospect of that. Let me know if you have any questions whatsoever.